Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things guitar culture nonsense. I'm Aaron.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Cole.
We slum it hard so you don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
How you folks doing today? How you guys doing? We're recording at an odd time today. It's Saturday morning, but like the sun's out, which is weird.
Yeah, we never record like at normal times.
During living hours when the rest of the world is awake. But here we are.
It's weird that to feel fully coherent while doing this podcast.
Yeah. It's like you're not like just up, but you're also not like dying at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're using our peak energy hours for you folks out there.
Yes.
Ladies and germs, here we are recording a podcast. We're slumming it hard so you don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Midday.
Do you say have to or have to?
I probably say have to if I'm not thinking about it. Have to. Yeah.
Have to.
Have
I think
to.
that's why I'm like
Have
always weird when I
to.
say it, because I say have to.
Have you
but
seen
I
that
think have to?
that supercut of Joe Biden saying that word wrong?
Which word?
I think he's trying to say exponentially,
I haven't seen it.
but he's saying. Jeez,
What
is he saying instead?
What word was Trump trying to say the other day and he couldn't, and so they found this memo where they had actually spelled it wrong for him just to help him.
Oh my gosh, really?
He had one a while back that he couldn't get out to, but I can't remember what it was.
Really funny.
We're talking
Anonymous
about
was one of
President
them.
Donald J. Trump, hero, American hero, patriot, if you will. I would say
Okay, I just
true
sent it to
American hero. I would say that's how I would describe him.
He's my president.
He is our president.
Apparently he couldn't say anonymous, which is funny. I mean,
Anomalous.
that's
He's
one of
saying
those things. Oh,
exponential.
origins. That's what it was.
Origins is the one. Yep.
It's like origins.
Yeah, he kept saying oranges. Origins.
Joe Biden says exponentially.
Exponentially.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Yeah, and it's like a supercut of him saying it like literally 50
that's
times.
That's
at
like
different
what
speeches.
happens when you've lived much of your life in a situation where someone wouldn't feel comfortable correcting you.
You say words.
Like
stupidly.
somebody should have shamed him at some point for saying that like that.
Yeah,
you
we're
know?
going to take a day and just practice.
Like
saying
if Joe Biden
exponentially.
said Beethoven, nobody would have said a word, but they would have made fun of him behind his back, you know.
Beethoven.
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 That's how we'd say it.
All right, how do you
Beethoven.
say this? Say this word. Mozart.
Mozart.
Phil?
I don't say that word.
Why?
I'm just kidding. I say, Mozart. 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 Damn it. No.
Oh yeah, I say Mozart.
Yeah, me too. I also say Mozart.
Oh man, where's he even from? He's like, isn't he
I
like?
say Mozart.
Isn't he like German or Swiss or something? Because
something.
Something.
Mozart.
because that's more like a Italian spelling.
But do you say Mozart or Mozart? Because Cole, you kind of said Mozart.
No, I didn't.
Except
I
he
said
didn't
Mozart.
pause though.
I'm just kidding. Mozart.
Do you say?
Pause
Here's
is the
another
weird
one.
part, and
How-
you are doing that.
Mozart.
How do you? How do you guys say? How do you guys
Said
say
Mozart.
like Button?
Button?
Yeah, button.
Have you ever heard? And
Button.
some people, you could criticize that pronunciation. That's how I say it too. But I think that's kind of a West thing. Instead of saying button,
Yeah. Button.
or like mountain or something. But then some people say it button,
Button.
which is
Like Joe
really
Button.
dumb. Yeah.
I don't like that one bit. People say weird things, though. Come on. Everyone's got a tick. Biting into their
do?
butt. Biting into their butt. Everyone does.
Remember how paranoid? Did you guys ever go? Well,
paranoid of ticks like in the wilderness.
You guys weren't Eagle Scouts like me, but yeah. You were like constantly checking between your butt cheeks.
I was a tenderfoot,
biting you there. Oh, you were?
Yeah.
So was my dad.
Nice.
That was like his claim to fame. He was the scoutmaster for like 15 years, and he only got to like first class or something. And he's like, "This is my punishment for not getting my Eagle Scout."
That's funny. No, but I know a girl who got bit by a tick, and now she has Lyme. She's had it for like
yikes,
over a decade or something.
And what does that
Crazy.
do?
I don't know.
And who calls it Lyme instead of Lyme disease? Is that a normal thing?
It's just Lyme, bro. I don't know.
You got the Lyme.
It's Lyme.
Well, at least she's not going to get scurvy if she has Lyme, you know?
I said Lyme disease, but you didn't let me finish my pause in the middle.
Oh.
My pause.
Have you seen that movie about that dog called Bait? Hoven?
Hova.
Did I tell you guys about my neighbor who he was shot by a BB gun when he was a kid, just like messing around, you know, and he didn't realize he got a BB like lodged in his butt cheek, and it ended up like that's how he died. He ended up having all kinds of health problems, but it stemmed from because it was lead, like it all stemmed from this lead poisoning that he got from this BB, and he died when he was like
crazy.
And he was slowly, continuously getting poisoned because it was still in his body.
Yeah, and they couldn't.
Gosh,
they couldn't like.
They can't just like cut off your butt cheek.
By the time they realized it, it was too late, you know. Because that would be a weird. Like he probably completely forgot it was there, and then I get. Like it would be a weird. That's obviously not the first thing you'd think to check, you know.
Yeah,
But it sucks.
That's wild.
And it is kind of crazy that we can like.
Now I'm nervous about getting shot in the butt with a BB gun.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you should be.
Well, I am.
Do you guys have any lead lodged in your butt?
No, I have a piece
That's
of
not what I heard.
pencil lead, but it's not actually lead. It's just like, what do you call it?
Like graphite. Yeah.
In my freaking knuckle.
Yeah, I have one on my hands
buck knuckle.
too. What?
That's what you call the first knuckle on your middle finger, right? The buck knuckle.
That's not what I call it.
Oh, because that's where it is.
I don't like have a name for my knuckles per se. Is that weird of me to not have names for all my knuckles?
You have not named your knuckles.
You don't have knuckle. You don't have Knuckle Buck. Remember that movie? Knuckle
Yeah,
Buck?
dude, I love that movie. Get circumcised a gnat.
Oh, John Candy. What a guy.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. John Candy. Speaking of John Candy, how was your guys' Halloween?
Awesome. Oh,
nice.
I need some feedback on my costume though.
Okay.
So I had to officiate a Pinewood Derby right before Halloween. So I thought it'd be funny if I got a referee shirt, and then I was like, oh, I might as well make a costume out of that. And for some reason in my mind, I picture referees as wearing like those short gym teacher shorts. But I don't know if that, because everyone like loved my costume and they thought it was hilarious, but they were like, what is it, like, why do you have those short shorts? They're funny, but like, what does that have to do with being a referee? And I'm like, because I'm a referee. Come on, like, I'm wearing referee shorts.
Costume. You can't just be a referee. You got to be a sexy referee.
Exactly. And it was so cold. It was like 25 degrees during trick or treating.
You should have said I'm a sexy referee. Like that should have been what. When people were like, wait,
a lot of good that does me now. On November 2nd, guys.
Second. I'm sorry, I overpronounce words. I tend to over-enunciate occasionally.
No, you should be sorry for just like interrupting
just
me
Beethoven.
for pronouncing words normally.
All right, I'm sorry.
Phil, tell us about your costume.
Me?
Yeah.
I chopped my beard off.
That's not a costume.
Well,
was that related to your costume though? Is that part of why you did it?
Yes, I chopped my beard off and then went to my job, my place of employment as a high school student.
And did you say, I'm not Josie Grossi anymore?
That's funny, but like nobody would have gotten it.
I know.
Actually, I should have said it to teachers. They would have thought it was fun.
So you went as a high school student?
Yeah.
Okay, because of your haircut, was that like the other aspect of it? And then did you wear like some Jinko jeans or something? That's what high school students still wear, don't they? So high school students still wear?
Yeah, those, I wore real super baggy pants, baggy plaid pants with
and like bondage
pants,
a tool
but,
shirt,
super loose.
I wore a Big Johnson T-shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? And then you like get called in, like, Phil, you're a teacher, and you're like, no, but I'm dressed up as a student. Like, come on.
Like, I break every dress code rule. I've got on your shorts.
Phil, you can't show your midriff like that.
Right.
Not
I've got like spaghetti straps with like pot leaves on them.
On the spaghetti straps?
Yeah.
Tiny little pot leaves.
Tiny little pot leaves, yeah.
I still can't believe you went as Dr. Phil that one year and shaved the top of your head. That's insanity. Like, I admire it. And the crazy thing is, like, you do kind of look like him with your head, you know what I'm saying?
Somebody said I look way more like Tobias Funke than Dr. Phil.
With that, I could see that. Well, did he have because you had like a full mustache. Did Tobias have a mustache?
I think so.
Oh. It probably wasn't as big and bushy as Dr. Phil's.
I think it was bigger and bushier.
It was probably either not as big and bushy or it was bigger and bushier.
But it was not exactly as big and bushy.
Not equal bushiness or bigness.
So 1 year...
Oh, yeah, he did. And it does look exactly like... It's like the same mustache. Guys, I'm sorry.
1 year I went as... Mr. T, and I shaved a Mr. T. I did not put on any makeup. I just to be clear.
You didn't go in T-face?
I did not go in... No T-face. I just shaved a Mr. T mohawk beard into my head, and then wore a jean vest.
A
with
mohawk
like a
beard into your head?
Well, you know, like he's got his beard like that goes up and over his ears.
Yeah,
and then connects to the mohawk on the back of his neck.
I didn't realize it connected to the back thing. Though.
Yeah.
Did you walk around saying "I pity the fool"?
So here's the thing.
Or did you put on a black voice?
No, I didn't. I didn't do any voices because the thing is,
what's a black
from a mile
voice
away with feathers hanging from my ear, chains around my neck, and a denim vest, and that beard and mohawk. From a mile away, people go, "Oh, Mr. T, that's so cool."
Which is just proof that blackface is stupid because you don't need it.
Right.
Exactly.
So it was.
Because just being a black person is not a costume.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yikes.
Mr. T is awesome.
I shouldn't have Googled Mr. T Mohawk because a bunch of the results are just people doing Mr. T costumes in blackface. Yikes.
So the thing is, Mr. T is awesome no matter what race.
How did you know what the back of his head looked like?
I don't know.
I spent a lot of time looking at the back of Mr. T's head.
Well, I've got pictures here that show it not connecting, though.
Sometimes, yes, there have been times where he's had it like just up over his ears, and then it ends.
Yeah. It's so weird either way.
Either way, it is weird, but like it's really distinct, right? So here's the thing. The day of Halloween, I went and got coffee somewhere, and I walk in, and I don't say anything, and everybody in the place is like, "Whoa, you're Mr. T, that's so awesome." I was like, "Thank you." And then the day after Halloween, I'm walking around in normal clothing with the Mr. T mohawk and beard. And like at a grocery store, somebody's like, "Oh, were you Mr. T for Halloween yesterday?" And I'm like, "Yes." Right? The day after Halloween, yes. The problem was with the Dr. Phil thing.
Yeah.
I wore
you just look like a bald idiot.
Yes. And it was... I felt so uncomfortable. It was like, those expose things where people like they put
Wait, but didn't you just shave the rest of your head though?
Well, just listen. So you know how people like put on fat suits and then like go around to like show how badly they're treated. Right, and then it like you learn like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for people
Or
who
like
are
that
fat.
Eddie Murphy sketch where he dresses up as a white guy.
Right.
Do you remember that?
So,
Yeah.
It's funny.
He's like, white people just give
The
each
last-
other free stuff.
The last black guy gets off the bus and they start handing out free drinks and stuff. So messed up.
So, walking around after work the day of Halloween, it was freaking Halloween. And the way people looked at me, I felt so gross and like I was like so sad and uncomfortable that this is the way people treat someone, some
Who's bald?
man who's bald with a mustache. This is the way they're treated, and I hate it. And I went home, and Kathy was like,
Stupid.
and Kathy was like,
Well, because
I
it was
like, I have
kind
to
of
shave it right
obviously
now.
shaved, wasn't it?
No, it
Like
looked
you could see the stubble. Had you shaved it really close?
I lathered
you
up
bicked
and
it?
like with yes, and I went home. I said I have to shave this off right now, and she goes, "You're gonna shave it? You're gonna shave all of it?" And I go, "Yeah, I have to because it feels so gross."
What's
And
the
then-
other option? Just let it
Yeah,
grow
what'd you
in?
think? You were going to start let it growing out?
No. Listen,
That looks
so
terrible.
immediately that day. No, I thought I was like, it'll be funny. I'll wear it for a little bit, like I did with the mohawk.
This is
So
back when
I
you
went-
didn't have a job, right?
I did have a job. I was working. I was working at a school. So I went home and took out the clippers and shaved the hair around, and realized it still looked gross. So I lathered up my entire head
Yeah.
and bicked my entire head. And I remember thinking while I was bicking my head, I would rather people think I'm a neo-Nazi
Yeah.
than
Than
a
just
balding
having
man.
normal male pattern baldness.
Yes. I would rather people believe that a neo-Nazi just walked into their store than a man with
I
a
hear
balding
creeps
man.
are always portrayed as like being completely bald on the top, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
So I'm
Because
sorry
you
to
have
all the
zero
listeners.
control over that.
Right. I'm sorry to all the listeners who are balding in that way, and I'm now I understand. I understand how you live, and
I think it
And
was
you're
just
sorry?
your own like internalized oppression, though.
no, people were treating me differently.
Maybe it's just
that
'cause-
just shows you your privilege with your stupid hair.
Yes, exactly.
yeah, because your hair is so beautiful most of the time.
With my freaking Uncle Jesse hair.
Do you apologize to your co-hosts who suffer with similar issues, or just the listeners?
You guys are not the same as that. You guys
No
are
one,
say that
different,
with
right?
such
very,
disdain.
very few people actually have that hair, though.
With the mustache. It might have been the combination.
Yes, and the hair like
Yeah,
full
because the
length on
mustache you
sides.
choose
Like,
to have.
Choosing with that hair and then choosing to have that mustache.
Because
with
most
that hair
most
is a
people that are
problem.
that bald just like cut their
They
hair
shave
really
it
short.
or like buzz it. Yeah, they don't have like regular length hair on the sides and then completely bald on top. Not anymore. Like back in the day, I think they used to. Do that.
yeah.
Poor guys. You poor sad fools. Did you get a lot of candy? Did you get some good candy on Halloween? Like from your
I
children?
didn't get
So
any candy.
Do you see
Phil, tell
Halloween?
us what you got when you were trick or treating.
Okay, I will. Yes. So my neighborhood is pretty intense, evidently. As it's a new neighborhood, it's growing like crazy every year. There's like more and more people and stuff. So I was with a few, couples and all of our kids, and we're kind of making the rounds. And we walked up to this one house, and they had like a stupid haunted house in their garage and stuff. And then there's this sign off to the side that said, "Adults only." Or no, it said parents. It said parents only.
Okay, that makes
That's a little less creepy.
adults only sounds worse.
I know, adults only. Yeah, right. It said parents only, and I walked over to the sign, and there was like a little tray full of shots, like just full. Like it was just covered in shots, and
Not Jello shots. I thought you had said they were Jello shots. For
they
some
weren't.
reason.
They weren't Jello shots. They were, but
Okay,
like
just normal shots.
it was like, well, Cole, you don't know this. People like will make alcoholic mixed drinks and then pour them into shot glasses.
Wait, what?
like, you know,
Just like
they
a
were
regular like a shot glass worth of a regular cocktail.
yes.
Instead
So
of what? Just like straight like whiskey or something? Or
yes,
I don't know
exactly.
What else
So that's
what else? What would you normally put in a shot glass?
Any liquor. Tequila is a common one.
Okay. So
so
liquor in the front then? Is that what you're saying?
what?
Of the shot glass?
What's
Never
on the front?
mind.
What?
Inappropriate. This podcast is not for parents only.
Plus, that's kind of messed up because, like, what if you're like someone's uncle?
I wish I would have been with you. I wish I would
Yeah,
have been with
so
you.
it's like, sorry. Sorry,
stood
Aaron.
outside the parent section. Sorry,
like-
guys. Not allowed. Thanks.
Our Heavenly Father hasn't blessed us with children yet.
That's funny.
Aaron, if you're wandering around the streets during Halloween
What if
without
you're like?
children, that's
What if you're like
What if I'm
someone's?
like with my niece or something?
Yeah, because the parents want to stay home and hand out candy.
okay. Well, maybe it should have said parent or temporary guardians.
We're just adults. If it didn't sound
Just
weird.
say adults only.
But adults only is weird. We
Just say-
established
Say
that.
21
Just put a
plus.
sign that says free shots,
Alcohol.
free booze.
No, just put one that says liquor in the rear, because it was behind the house, right?
No, it was right in the front of the house.
Oh,
At the
well,
top of the
then there
house.
you go.
Control.
Just put liquor in the front. Was anyone playing poker?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Here's the thing. All the women
Aaron's
in
so
our group,
exasperated.
Yes.
all the women in our group were like, nope. And every guy was like, sure, I'll take one. Like, so I think that says something about our culture.
Yeah, it says a lot of things.
Men are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I guess were they?
You-
why
you
didn't
don't know
the
what it
women?
says,
Just because they didn't want?
They were afraid of
I
being
think
roofied.
women are just like, yeah, they're just taught, and for good reason, to
Yeah.
not take drinks from strangers.
But I was
But like,
hey,
if you think
somebody
about it,
roofies
and
me-
I'm not saying they should have. Like, I totally understand that, but obviously they're not going to do it in that instance because, like, it's at their
Right.
house. You don't really have a lot of. It's not like you're a random guy at a bar. It's like, oh, come to my house and I'll roofie you, and then you walk
Yeah.
away.
and then immediately
ostensibly.
wander down the street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're
Like-
like, man, I got roofied. I wonder.
Maybe
when
they're-
it must have been when I drank that shot at that house.
They're paying it forward for any other potential predators that are down the street.
Ugh.
Woof.
That, yeah, but that is kind of a weird. Is that legal?
I don't think it is, right?
I don't know because you didn't pay
Yeah, if
for
they're
it.
serving alcohol in their own home,
But
there's
it's
no
not
problem with
in
that.
their home.
It's like on their property. It's not. It's like having
Oh.
a party and like serving
Yeah,
drinks
just like
you're
someone
at a
coming
party.
over and. I think
But
it's
are
just
you-
if you
okay.
paid for it that it would have been a problem.
Oh, that's true. You don't have a license. But like, are you allowed to serve alcohol
at a party at your house.
outside of your house?
What if you're having like a barbecue
Cookout or a cookout.
But like,
Or a
you know
cookout.
how
or a carne?
Aaron, you know how like there's all these, you know how there's all these like restaurants that like they serve beer, but then they have like a patio and they're like no
Yeah.
alcohol past this point.
Yeah, but that's because it's an
Yeah, it's
establishment.
because you can't take it like beyond their property.
Okay, so it is a property line thing, and
I think
yeah,
so.
I
It's
guess,
property
yeah.
line thing, and it's like certain areas are designated because in Utah has weird liquor laws, but most places here are like clubs. But it's like this in other places too, I think, where you go in and like they'll have part of it set aside for drinking.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
Like if you go to concerts or something, because then they can let kids that are under 21 into a concert, but then not serve them
Yes.
alcohol.
Yeah,
So that's not just Utah, right?
no, that's normal. But you still have to be
Right.
18 to go into those places usually.
Yeah, that's how it is here too.
Like after a certain time or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, I think it's fine.
is.
I think it's perfectly legal.
It is a weird. Like I could see you getting yourself in hot water, maybe because like you have no idea how old people are. I mean,
Yeah,
just saying
that's true.
parents, like parents doesn't. I mean,
Right.
nowadays, babies having babies.
Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah,
I don't. I think I've talked
Like-
about this on the.
as if like back in Back in
We
the
used
old
to wait
days.
till they were like
Dude,
40
they used to have,
back in the old times.
they'd have kids when they were like 14 or whatever.
Back when
I think
America
I've talked
was
about
great.
this. Jimmy Kimmel. It's so funny because Jimmy Kimmel now he's like an established, like late night talk show host. But when he was first given his late night show, he was trying to make it like
Yeah, you talked about it where he would give beer to everyone.
he served like it was an open bar.
But that's
And-
like
That is kinda
that's a
wild.
very like comedy club thing, I think.
Yeah. Like
To
the
have
whole
all
point,
the alcohol you want.
Not all that you want, but they always have like a 2-drink
they
minimum.
have a minimum because they want you. They know it's better if you're drunk.
It's like
Okay,
you don't
yes.
have to drink, but you have to pay for it. So if you're going to pay for it, you might as well drink it.
But I don't think that they were. I think he was giving it away.
No, I know.
Yes,
I understand. I'm
but
just saying like
he's
that's
just
like
saying that
that's why
being
you do
drunk,
that.
being drunk is a benefit to comedy. So
Yes,
it's in their
okay,
best interest
agreed.
to have you be drunk.
Yeah.
The fact that he's giving it away was unusual, but that's because he had a TV show. He wasn't just
Right.
some stand-up struggling or
Yes,
whatever.
right.
Correct.
I can't believe he was able to pivot to being a mainstream.
Have you guys
late night.
seen Judge James?
No.
The bit that he does where he's
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy Kimmel does he goes to small claims court. He basically does the same thing that Judge Judy does, but instead of having them come try their case there legally, he just gets them to drop the case and then come there to his fake court and tries the case himself. And it's really funny because half the time it ends with him just I'm going to award you both the money if you just hug and make up. He's I want you to be friends again or whatever. But Guillermo is his bailiff, and yeah, it's pretty good. I like
Did you ever
Jimmy Kimmel.
see or did you watch SNL a couple weeks ago when Chance the Rapper was on and they had a sketch where he was what was it? It was first impression judge or something. So it's
No.
it's like a court show. But he just the people come in and he just looks at him. He's like, "Oh, you're guilty," because you can always tell.
Was he
yeah,
the
that dude's
judge?
shady. He definitely did it. Yeah, he was the judge.
Dang, what else? He had a great SNL skit.
It was
not
funny.
not this last time, but one of the other times he was on. He's pretty funny.
He's funny, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to go watch that. First
Oh,
impression judge.
And Keenan is the bailiff. Oh man! Speaking of Keenan being the bailiff, I'm just kidding, guys. I want to talk about one thing.
Uh-oh.
Seriously, one serious thing. Gear related.
Okay.
Income
Guitar
oh.
gear related. Gun Street Wiring Shop represents a brand new approach to the guitar wiring market. From their nothing is impossible philosophy to their community first attitude, Gun Street Wiring Shop is the premier maker of guitar wiring harnesses. Based in Central Oregon, Gun Street only does one thing: make your guitar sound and play better. Bored with your standard switching? Gun Street. Need more options? Gun Street. Looking to nail that classic tone? Gun Street. You want to try something that's never been done before? Gun Street. Sean's always coming up with new circuit designs. He's always down to make something special to fit your exact needs. So hit him up now, gunstreetwiringshop.com. Turn your SG into an OMG, your Les Paul into a More Paul, your Telecaster into a Telestar Blaster. And as always, members of the Street Crew get an extra discount at everything at gunstreetwiringshop.com. So the other day, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, it's been a while.
Okay.
Well, which is it?
Strymon. You guys remember Strymon?
Strymon?
I'm familiar with that brand.
Strymon. Strymon?
Oh, Strymon, you mean?
You're Strymon.
Strymon? Strymon. Just Strymon.
Like
You Strymon? Senka. You Strymon?
I'm just Strymon my best. I'm Strymon my best. Strymon Musical Instruments Incorporated has released a new pedal that everyone knows about at this point. Probably. A new phaser, brand new phaser called the Strymon Iridium.
Amish people don't know about it.
Why? Because they're stupid? Yeah. Or because Amish people can't play guitar? Is that what you think?
I bet most people in China don't know about it, except the ones who make it.
You think Amish people just can't understand what a guitar is? They're so dumb they don't even
Probably
understand.
have acoustic guitars.
Yes, Aaron, that's what I
they don't
think
even know
about
what
them.
they don't know what a
Aaron,
string is. They can't comprehend. I'm Amish. What's music? I don't understand this at all. Is that what you think, Phil?
Uh-huh.
Gosh.
Is that wrong?
I don't know.
That's what I thought too, for the record.
I'm just asking because that's what I think, and I want to make sure I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Equally hateful.
We all hate the Amish. Stupid Amish. Oh, dude, true story. What
are they going to do? They're not going to listen to a podcast?
No, check this out. When I was in high school, this Amish dude moved to our town and started coming to my church.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I swear. And his name was Yoder. First name, Yoder. He
Like
was
the guy
very
from
Amish.
Star Wars?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He was a Jedi. He was an Amish Jedi. And he had like the beard, without the mustache thing, just the chin strap.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was bald, and he wore very simple clothes, and he told us some really inappropriate jokes about Amish people.
Dude,
but he was looking for a wife.
That's what you should do next year, Phil. Because you seem to be obsessed with altering your hair for Halloween. You should go as an Amish. Amish beard and bald head.
Do it. Anyway, that's just an aside. Strymon released the Iridium? I think it's Iridium.
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 Because it's irredeemable.
I think it's Iridium. The Strymon Iridium. Which is named after an element.
Yep.
An element?
That's how actually all their pedals are named after elements. Did you know that?
No way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
Volante, El Capistan.
that. Dude, you're right.
That's kind of their thing.
That's crazy. I never even thought about that.
Okay, so tell us about it.
Timeline. Big Sky. So iridium is a chemical element with a symbol IR and atomic number 77. It's a very hard, brittle, silvery white transition metal on the platinum group. Second densest metal with a density of 22.5 grams per centimeter cubed as defined by experimental X-ray crystallography. Is that what you wanted to know about?
Yes.
About iridium?
Mm-hmm.
So the Strymon Iridium pedal was first discovered in 1803 among insoluble impurities in natural platinum. And it's named after the Greek goddess Iris, the personification of the rainbow, because of the striking and diverse colors of its salts. But the Strymon Iridium pedal is an amp simulator pedal, I guess you could say. I believe it's called the Iridium because IR is the first two letters of iridium, and this chemical symbol, is that what you say?
Yeah.
Symbol of iridium. And what the Iridium pedal specializes in is guitar amplifier and cabinet IRs, a.k.a. impulses response.
Just cabs.
Just cabs. The amplifiers are just not impulse responses. They're just digital emulations, if you will.
Exactly.
So you get 3 amps. You get basically a Fender, is it a deluxe reverb?
Yeah.
So there's a deluxe reverb model, there's a AC30 model, and there's a
Plexi.
some kind of Marshall. Is it a Plexi?
Yeah, it is.
And then for each of those, you can choose 3 different cabs. So there's 3 cab IRs for each amp. So I think I remember with the Fender one, you can get like the 112 from the deluxe reverb, or you can do the Blues Junior cab,
or like a 210.
and then there's a third one.
It's a 210, it's meant to be a Vibrolux or something.
Yeah, yeah. And then with the AC30, you can do like the 212 or a 112 or something else.
Yeah. The Marshall has an 812 option, which is pretty cool.
So like a full stack. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, and then it has like bass, treble, mids. And I think the mid, because most of those amps don't actually have mid controls, or like the Fender and the Vox don't, so it does something different on those. It's actually like I don't know exactly what it is, but it's assigned a different function.
I can't remember. One of them.
I know with the Fender, it basically acts as like a secondary gain control.
Yeah, but I think it is kind of a mid control on the Fender. The Marshall, it does something specific that's like, it basically pushes it like there's some very common way to hot rod those plexis.
Okay.
But I don't know.
You don't. I'm just kidding.
But yeah,
but here's why I brought it up, because it's like everybody already knows about the pedal, so I don't think really going through the features is our bag. But I'm curious what you guys think and feel about this Iridium. I want your honest opinions.
It's
No
interesting.
diggity.
So from a DSP standpoint, the IR lengths, they're using like insanely long IRs. So most impulse responses. So an impulse response is a way of just categorizing a linear system, and that's why they don't use it for the amps, because a linear system doesn't can't distort. So like any frequency you put in, the same frequencies come out, just a different magnitude and phase.
Okay.
And so distortion can't be captured in an impulse response.
Right.
You didn't know that, Aaron?
No, I'm learning.
And
Learning this right now.
And so most times, if you're using an impulse response for some system, unless it's like a room or a reverb, then it's going to be very short. And so, like most systems that use, and it's like an FIR. That's the other. Have you guys heard the term FIR filter?
No.
You hear it a lot in the pro world.
I've heard
and
it like all the time.
Oh, I've heard it pronounced for filter.
That actually is what people call them, fur filters as well. But it's just
for filter fish.
it's to differentiate between an infinite impulse response, because you can actually your volume is like jumping all over the place, by the way, Aaron. You can have an infinite impulse response because it's defined recursively. It's like defined based on this much of the last symbol and this much of the last sample and this much of the second to last sample and all that. So, but normally these impulse responses would be like 2048 samples. Like they'd be some fraction of a second, and these ones are like half a second long, which is pretty crazy. But they're just modeling the cabs and mics, I guess, in theory. And so I don't like, that's part of how they're selling it, is that the DSP is so much more, I don't know, high fidelity, but you wouldn't expect it to make that much of a difference on just the cabs. And then I don't know what they're using for the amp simulation. I mean, it could be some like series of impulse responses that are different depending on the input level or something like that. I don't know.
I haven't read about it enough to know. Although, here's something funny that happened on Facebook, because people are dumb, in different groups. Someone was talking about the Iridium, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like it has cabinet modeling, but it doesn't have like mic IR modeling, the IRs." And someone was like, "Whoa, you can't capture a cabinet without also capturing a microphone, because you have to use a microphone to record it." And they're like, "Well, yeah, all I'm saying is you can't choose which microphone it uses."
Yeah,
obviously
exactly.
There was a microphone in the process at some point.
Yeah. It's like
So stupid.
Like
I love when people try to like
obviously.
school people on just really
It's like,
dumb
oh,
things.
you can't. It doesn't even let you model the speaker. It just lets you model like. Of course, every aspect of that was in there. That's one of the things I don't like about the NUX.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it's called, Solid Studio IR
Nukes.
guy, NUX.
No.
It has like two big knobs on it, right?
Yeah, it
And
does.
one of them lets you choose the amp,
Yeah.
which whatever, that's fine. The other one lets you choose the mic. There's like 10 different kinds of mics you can choose from, and they all sound very similar, as you would imagine. It's just a weird. And then like the gain and volume knobs are these tiny little knobs you can barely see when you're playing live,
So the mic one is like the big one.
Yeah, like
Well,
that's what I
it's
need.
just like the main thing with the mic is basically like the EQ, right? Like it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you can always
And
like mess with that.
Well, and
Without-
it's just like I wouldn't expect, like, mics are just not gonna sound that different. I mean, from the beginning of time, microphone, like, I don't think anyone ever designed a microphone to not be accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like, just some they sound different than others, but it's not. When Adam and Eve designed the first microphone, then Cain.
Well, I
threw
mean,
it
I
away.
think it's fair to say. I think it is fair to say that Adam and Eve were not
have anything to do with the microphone.
We're not
It was all
designing a
Adam.
microphone that was designed to be inaccurate. I think that's a fair statement.
Exactly. So it's a weird, and like the difference between mics is subtle. You know, some, I'm sure like studio guys would disagree with that, but it's much more subtle than the difference in speakers, for example.
Yeah. I think you could say that it's subtle but important.
Yeah, it's important,
Like, not
but
that
what
it's
I'm
not
saying is,
noticeable.
like, if you're going to
Exactly.
choose the two main things you want to change on this pedal, mics would not be at the top of the list. Like, it's nice to have those options, and it makes sense why some IR pedals have them, but yeah, it's not the end all be all.
So then when you choose an amp on the Solid Studio, it's the power amp, the preamp, the power amp, and the speaker, like, all together.
No, I think the speaker is on another. Let me grab it.
Oh, so you can choose a speaker also.
I'll just look it up because it's on my board. Yes. It has a bunch of toggle switches and knobs on it.
Oh, okay.
So let's see here. Oh, you can actually choose the tube type?
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't choose the speakers. Because, like, the amp, so, like, the different amps are jazz, like a... What's
like
the
a JC.
What's the... Yeah, JC 120. And then DR 112. BS 410, which I guess that's a...
BS 410?
BS. What would that be? Not a bandmaster. What are the different 410? An A212, which is probably an AC30 or something. So the amp and speaker combination. And then there's this toggle switch for the tube type. So EL34, 6V6, or EL84, which is like, that's a function of the amp. It's weird. And then the other toggle switch is center, middle, and edge. So it's mic position. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different mics you can choose from. It's just
that seems more like in line with what you would get in, like, Logic or something when you're doing the amp modeling, because they always have, like, you can choose the mic and you can move the mic around and, like, that kind of stuff. But whereas the Strymon one seems more
like it's meant more as a studio piece than a live, like, or than like a jamming piece where you're just trying to throw something quick together. It's for, like, little tweaking and fine tuning. But it kind of, I don't know. I used it for this gig I did last night, and it was fine, but it just doesn't take pedals very naturally. And sometimes it just distorts like crazy, and I can't figure out why. If I'm just, like, running too hot into the mixer or something. It sounded fine last night, but yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm going back and forth on whether I want the Iridium, because I have an HX Stomp, which in theory can do anything the Iridium can do and then way more.
right.
But it's kind of just...
It seems like the thing that the Strymon has going for it is that it does fewer things
very
in a
easily.
simple way and, like, really well. Whereas something else might do things equally well, but it's harder to dial in because there's so many options.
But that's...
And it's the thing that, like...
Exactly. Like, it is, I mean, it's exactly what they do with a lot of their other pedals, and Line 6 is the opposite. Because, like, they have, like, the DSP chip that Strymon uses, and it's what they've used in all their pedals, is called a Shark. And it's like a common, it's been used in commercial DSPs for years and years. It's super powerful, and there's nothing keeping Strymon from doing some crazy multi-effects unit, but all of their... even all their big box pedals are designed around, like, you choose an effect, like, there's some, like, you know, limited list of, like, 8 effects you can choose from, and then the parameters you're adjusting are pretty, I don't know, readable, I guess, or straightforward. And that's kind of their strength, is, like, limiting your options, but for your own good, I guess.
Well, that was like the big pushback when the Boss came out with like the 500 is that everyone was like, well, it's just way harder to dial in than the timeline.
Yeah, and the timeline,
which most guitar players don't want that. They want something that's going to sound good easily.
Yeah, because what everyone says about all the Strymon pedals is, well, I can just turn it, especially the big box ones. You just turn it to one of the presets, and it's going to sound good. Right. Like if you wanted a phaser,
make it sound bad.
You could probably scroll through every phaser on there and find one that you really liked and not even tweak any of it,
Right.
And so I think it's a smart idea because that's like largely what I use the Stomp for. And then I've had times, and this is all user error, I'll be the first to admit that, but like we were jamming one time and it like took me 10 minutes to realize I had chosen, I thought it was the same preset, but it just had the same name. I must have copied it and pasted it. And I left a volume pedal block that was linked to the expression input, but I didn't have an expression pedal plugged in, and so it was just at 0. I was trying to figure out why it wasn't passing audio, and it's because it had this volume pedal block that was down at 0.
Yeah.
And like, again, that's user error, but it's the type of thing that if you're like, you have enough other things to think about. If you don't want all the customized, if you don't want to be able to customize it to high heaven, then I mean, it's kind of the same reason I went away from the MS3. But I'm still on the fence. I'm not going to sell the Stomp anytime soon, and I took it off my board for this new X one just to try it out, but I'm not like done with it or anything. But
how much does the new X one go for? Do you know?
I don't know, but I got it for like $120 or something. I mean, it's significantly
so it's significantly cheaper. Yeah,
yeah, way cheaper. I mean, it's probably 200. It looks like it's 200 new.
Yeah.
So
where the Iridium is 400.
Yeah.
Which is a bunch. Because the thing about the Iridium is like you could get like there's a lot of amplifier like modeling amps in that range that could get the same like cheaper, Like the Boss Katana is like $220 and you can run that direct too if you want to. I mean it's not the same, but
the weirdest thing,
there's a lot of options at that price.
And I don't think like the biggest head scratcher about the Iridium, in my opinion, is that it doesn't have balanced outputs. And I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, then you have to use a DI with it," and that's not true. But it does mean you have to use a DI in certain situations, and it's just a weird because they market it as a thing that's used for running direct.
Yeah, explain the difference between balanced and unbalanced.
So balanced audio is there's basically two conductors. It's like a guitar cable just has a conductor and a shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then a balanced cable would have two conductors and a shield. So mics are almost always balanced, and basically you have the two signals that are out of phase with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's any noise, the noise shows up in phase and can basically be canceled out easily. Okay. So it's good for noise rejection, and it's also good for impedance matching. That's why you need some kind of direct box if you're running like a guitar directly into a console, or it just behaves really weirdly because guitar pickups are really high impedance. So you'd have like really low level going into it. So, but it's mostly for noise rejection. And so that's why, like, especially if you're running long cables, which, nowadays most stage boxes are digital, so it doesn't make a difference. But if you do have an analog stage box and you're running, you're plugging in at the stage and then it's like some 300-foot cable up to the console,
right?
Then you could potentially introduce interference that way.
So the DI box basically turns unbalanced into balanced output.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a weird omission. So like when the Stomp first came out, I thought it was weird that it didn't have an XLR output, but it has balance. So you can just use a TRS cable to XLR and it's still balanced, But the fact that this doesn't have a balanced output is a real head scratcher. And
I haven't seen. I wonder why they did that. Like if they,
I don't know. Maybe things are like.
I would assume it's some kind of intentional decision, but
I don't know. Or maybe it's so packed inside the pedal. I don't know. because like I said, they market it like if you go to the Iridium page, most of it talks about you can skip your amp and you can run direct, and it's like that exactly. You can come correct. The very first thing on the page is go direct with gorgeous tone.
Yeah, like that's the main goal of it.
Yeah. And they spell miking amps without lugging around or miking amps, and they spell it M-I-K-I-N-G, which I don't know how I would spell miking, but it just looks weird.
I've seen it that way. Like you spell mic M-I-C, but then miking or mic would be M-I-K-E-D.
Micing.
Yeah.
M-I-C.
You can connect into the...
Yeah.
Well, so would there be any issue if you plugged a balanced output into like a regular amp? Would there be anything negative about having it balanced?
Into an amp?
Yeah.
No, because it would just be pulling, like, going into an unbalanced input, it would only be touching like two of the leads. Mm-hmm. So assuming it was just touching like the hot and the ground, there probably wouldn't be an issue. Sometimes you'd want to lift, like you'd want to tie pins 2 and 3 to the ground. I don't know. There's different. You handle it differently if you're running balanced into unbalanced versus unbalanced into balanced. And I can't remember off the top of my head.
I just know just because I'm looking at it and it's talking about like one thing that you can do is use it with an amplifier and run it as the preamp into the effects input, like the return.
Yeah.
So like maybe they're considering that, and that's why they had the unbalanced
output. Still like. And if you just use a TS cable, like if you don't use a TRS cable, then it would just run two conductors anyways. That. But that's such a weird. Again, that's like an edge case. They might just have run out of room because the TRS connector on the inside is going to take up more room, and maybe they just maybe they're using all the exact same like A to D and D to A converters and everything, and they didn't have room on their board. I'm guessing this is like the same board as their other small box pedals. Like the entire circuit board, maybe, I don't know.
Because the only thing that would have to be different is the programming, right? The way you program the DSP chip.
Probably. I mean, they have a ton of they talk about this JFET input that has a ton of headroom, but their other pedals might have that too.
Yeah.
And that's
all
that's
in all,
the thing
I think
that
it's
would be.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a very.
At the end of the day, boots on the ground, like dollars to donuts. It is what it is. That's what I'm saying. I think it's good.
Iron.
Thank you. Dollars to donuts. I don't know.
They
what
just
that
didn't
means,
execute.
but I like it.
What does that
like
mean?
synergistically.
Do you have you guys ever used? Like, I don't even remember the last time I used my amp, and I have a bunch of different modeling pedals. Do you guys use like Sans amps or anything?
I haven't, but I'm starting to play more at like different, like because more electric at different places, like churches mostly. And I feel like this Iridium is like a really good option for something like that.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law like works at a church, and I'm trying to convince him to buy some for the church.
Brag much.
To just have. Like, because he was talking about buying like an amp for the church, like
everyone
like a house amp
from it.
I'm like, dude, don't buy that. Just buy this instead. And then it's like, because everyone's putting like mics backstage and miking them and running it through in-ears anyway. So it's
cabs
like
and stuff.
Yeah. It's like you might as well just run direct. This episode is brought to you by the Sinusoid Custom Shop. Sinusoid Custom Shop is capable of doing pretty much whatever you want for your cables. They can make cool like tech flex combinations. They can make right angle on one end and a noiseless jack on the other end. They can do pretty much whatever you want. They got their speaker cables in there. They also have a really cool builder. You go on the website. You can design whatever you want. If you want a snake to put all your stuff in a loom together, you can do that there. If you want something wild out of the box, send them an email. They can do it. They do all kinds of crazy stuff all the time. And if you join our Patreon, you get a special discount for anything you buy from Sinusoid, including the custom shop. So tell them we sent you. You won't regret it. Sinusoid.com. And I was watching even the Bad Religion. They're not doing this, but I was watching the Bad Religion rig rundown today. And Brian Baker was like, he has these two Marshall amps.
Yeah.
And then behind them, he has He has 2 Kempers.
Oh, serious?
Like, yeah.
Oh, I think
He's like, yeah. Sometimes I use this, but like I've been using the Kempers because I guess they took it on like a European tour, and he's like, I mean, it sounds good and it's easy for the guy in the front of the house. So yeah, I just play these most of the time.
That's hilarious. I can't remember what they were because I took some pictures when I saw them a couple of months ago, and I just remember. It seems like they were playing. I mean, they both play P90 guitars.
Yeah. So the one dude plays like a Mesa Mark II.
Okay, yeah.
Combo that's like running through a bunch of big cabs, and then the other dude has these 2 like plexis that are basically the Dookie mod plexi.
Nice. That makes sense.
Yeah, which is cool.
I mean, it is like, I don't know. That would be a nice thing about being in a punk band is like you can just have one sound. So do they? Because I don't remember him having any pedals on the stage.
No, so the dude who was doing the interview was like kept asking them. He's like, so like you don't run any effects. So like like that song Sorrow has like a delay part in the beginning. Like what do you do for that? He asked all 3 of them the same question about the same song, and they're like, oh yeah, Ron takes care of that. Like Ron's our sound guy, and if we need delay, he just adds delay on the board.
Oh, just at the console.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Like they don't even. He's not even controlling effects there.
That is like
literally had tuners on the stage, and that's it.
That is like a very old school way of doing it, though, because a lot of consoles have built-in delay and reverb, and some of them even have like other effects. That's
just funny, like to have him turn it on for like part of one song.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I'll figure it out.
It was funny.
But like that's what front of house guys do for vocals, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Okay, on this song.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently it's the same guy who's been like running their sound for 30 years, so it's not like some random dude who's just doing it. It's like he's part of the band basically.
Totally.
He's like Chris
part of the band,
Kuroda.
Yeah.
Fifth member of the band.
I don't know who that is.
He's the lighting guy for Fish.
He's stupid.
On Analyze Fish, they always talked about.
He's stupid.
They were joking about how like everyone at the show, when he mentioned Chris Kuroda, they said, "Yeah, he's the 5th member of the band." And Scott was like, "It's like you're in some weird cult, and they had trained you to say this thing about him."
Yeah, 5th member of the band.
5th member of the band, and he's just
funny.
Oh well, there's Skullface and Less Than Jake.
Skullface.
And then there's the guy in the Boss Tones, which I think he might just be called the Boss Tone.
And then there was Henry Rollins, who used to dance on stage for Minor Threat.
Yeah. And then he just like... he
just joined Black Flag.
Okay, it was Black Flag.
Yeah.
I never remember that stuff.
Like the second iteration of Black Flag.
So, Phil, do you mostly play acoustic with your band?
I don't play like I'm playing an electric. I just smash the strings.
So it's just like buzzing like crazy. And do you have an acoustic, like multi-effects? Do you have one of those, like some TC Electronic pedal?
I am indiscriminate.
No, I remember we tried to like get him to get one because he wanted he's like, I really want the harmonizer that's built into this thing. Like, we'll just use it. He's like, no, I don't want to use the effects on it. But I want the harmonizer.
Like, I don't like multi-effects anything.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Phil, just do it.
Yeah. It's like
and it's the type of thing where if
you.
you're like playing live and something sounds weird, it's like, oh crap, now I got to figure out. It's not like you can't look at a pedal and see that, oh, my knob is turned all the way down. Which, by the way, last night at our gig, I played acoustic on a couple songs and then pulled out my electric and played Pawn Shop. And I do the lead guitar on that, and my tone knob was turned all the way down, and I didn't realize it until after
at
the
the
song.
pawn shop. Working at the pawn shop, yeah. That That's it.
Why are you doing this to me right now? I'm obviously very upset about this. That friend of mine that I went to Nashville with, he said the same thing. I can't remember what he was saying, but I was like, why would you say that? And he's like, just to piss you off, because it's fun to piss you off for some reason. And I was like, why does everyone say that?
I'm not mad.
Shut up. So you just use your normal board. Well, half of your board that isn't dedicated to kazoo or whatever garbage you use it for.
Kazaa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have a whole side of your board for playing illegally downloaded music, and like really crappy quality Simpsons episodes.
And like it might actually just be porn instead, but it's hard to tell.
It's like, oh sweet, a new AFI video. Ooh, that's not AFI. That's like a snuff film of someone getting stabbed in the neck or something.
Wow,
that actually happened. That's why.
To you?
Yep.
Oh my!
I downloaded this
stabbed
video.
in the neck.
That is so rough.
And I still don't, to this day, I don't know if it was real or not, but it really looked real. And I was like, ugh.
That is traumatizing.
It kind of messed me up for a few days.
That was probably like, I bet the record labels are doing that stuff back then, just to like scare people off. They're like, these kids are just downloading all our stuff. How can we stop them?
Oh, jeez, that'd be
Let's
pretty.
Just upload
insidious.
some snuff films and
That's like
scare them for a week or so.
And scare them.
I'm not going on Kazaa anymore.
They didn't plan on kids loving snuff films as much as they do, apparently.
Woof.
So,
Phil, what do you got for us?
Is it that time again?
I think so.
So, it's that time you've all been waiting for.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Guess That Pedal Review, where we play a game, where I read a review, and you have to guess whether or not I've read the review before.
You don't have to guess, you just have to remember.
Yes, you just have to remember. Remember That Pedal Review. That's what this game is called. Okay. The first review is as follows. This is by Dan. It is a 1-star review titled Disappointing. May 13th, 2019.
Oh, it's a recent.
Mm-hmm. This review is for the blah, blah, blah. There is a reason why it has such a low price. This is the only pedal I own that I want to sell because it is not useful to me. Even with the level on full, it has a lower output than any of my other pedals. There is not much difference in the amount of fuzz on the fuzz dial. Left is a little less. Right is a little more. And the fuzz pedal I've heard.
Gosh.
It is fine for amateurs.
Tale as old as time.
More and getting something better. I don't use it.
what?
Is it the Joyo Voodoo Octave Fuzz?
It is not.
I always want
Why
to
did
that.
I didn't get the last sentence?
I don't use it. Like, he doesn't use the pedal.
That kind of goes without saying, though, doesn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
That's just a weird way to end it.
Let me tell
You
all
care
this
about
stuff.
this?
I don't use it, by the way.
This is the only pedal I own that I want to sell because it is not useful to me.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah,
I'll
just
continue
say
your
I
guessing.
hate this pedal.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So it's a cheap pedal. Is it a Boss FC5? Is it
The knob. So there is a knob just called fuzz. I know I'm making you scroll up to the picture.
Is it is it an MXR pedal?
It is not MXR.
Is it an Electro Harmonics pedal? Is it a Like a Chinese OEM brand?
It is not.
Is it a Kaniki? A hickey from Kaniki?
Fuzz. Is it a
Hallmark
boutique
card.
kind of pedal?
It is not. It is not a boot.
Is it less than $100?
Yes.
Does it have more than 2 knobs? Does it have more than 3 knobs?
Does not have more than 3 knobs.
Does it have 3 knobs?
It does.
Nice.
Dang it, you win.
Do I get points for that?
Is it purple?
It is not purple.
Is it green?
Color purple.
Is it like maroon?
No.
Oh, is it Ibanez?
Is it Ibanez?
I was literally about to say that. We're both idiots.
Is it a recognizable brand, like one that we would probably know?
Yes, you know the brand.
Is it full tone?
No.
Is it based on a fuzz face?
Empty tone?
I know. That's why I like to ask you questions that I know you won't know the answer to. So it has. Let me guess. It has fuzz, volume, and tone. Are that the 3 controls?
Mm-hmm. No.
Is it a normal sized enclosure?
No.
Is it from Way Huge?
No.
Way small?
Is it one of those TC Electronic? Is it the Rusty Fuzz?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Good
69
job,
points to Aaron.
Oh,
I mean,
sweet.
Cole.
Nah, it's too late.
Dang it.
You gave them to me. I got points. You cannot remove points.
The
I've
rusty
been
fuzz.
69 with points, and I will remain 69 with points.
How did you know you're Googling stuff?
No, I guessed it because you said, I wouldn't call it purple, so I had that maroon in my mind. And like rust is kind of the color of maroon.
Oh, I guess it is sort of a rust
I don't
color.
remember
That's
the
dumb.
names of those TC pedals, really.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
I remember
impressed.
that one because whenever Tor says the name, he says Rusty Fuss.
Dude,
The Rusty
freaking
Fuss.
Tor's the best. This sounds like it'd be a wah pedal or something. The Rusty Fuzz.
The Rusty Fuss.
Okay,
Tor's
next
not there
one.
anymore, though. He doesn't work for them anymore. He gone.
This review is by. Oh wait, you forgot to guess. Have we done that review?
We have not.
No, we have not.
You're both wrong. We have
That review or that pedal?
that review.
No, we have not.
You liar. As if you'd remember.
I know. I almost
You.
fell for it for a second. Like, well, I mean, I guess he would know. With his
He sure
meticulous notes.
sounds. He sounds like he knows.
You misunderestimate. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you overestimated him.
Yeah.
Underestimated.
You know-
What's the over/under estimated on me knowing if Nicholas? This is by Nicholas Giamona.
All right.
This is a 2-star review. With bad switches.
Oof.
December 22nd, 2013.
Oh.
Oldie.
First with a bad switch. Its replacement had the same with a third. As for the sound, it's pretty awesome. A distortion. If you're familiar with the, I'm going to blank that out, and wish it had bad switches. Stepping down engages the pedal. least no other pedal behaves this way.
Oh,
Wait,
who does
what?
that?
So if you end up off by a split second, it's annoying.
Wait,
No other pedal behaves
he said that
He's wrong.
he calls that a
He's wrong.
broken switch?
as so. It was so annoying, I just gave up.
What?
I love that he thought it was
guy's an
broken, so he
idiot.
like returned it and got another one.
Like, that's a feature, yeah.
And it did the same thing, and he still thought it was broken.
Yeah, I'm not going to get a third one. I ain't no dummy. So it worked. It's just saying it didn't disengage until he took his foot off the switch, right?
Right.
That's
She is saying
idiotic.
Her name is Nicholas.
I never said she.
Oh, I thought you said she. I got really indignant
Because
there for a
we've
second.
done a pedal that had 2 broken foot switches, but I would have remembered this. It was a
So
JHS
it's a tube
pedal. I
screamer
think.
style pedal that has.
Is it a JHS?
So I don't think it's
To say-
JHS because they don't use like.
To say no other,
think
yeah,
they
it's going to
still
be
use
like a
hard
soft.
switches. They
It's
don't
going to be a
use
soft
switches.
switch.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're moving toward it.
Wampler?
It's
Is it Wampler?
2013,
Oh man, yeah.
and it's a tube screamer style pedal. It said, although that may not be true. 'Cause
Is
this
it
guy's-
Tube Screamer? Yeah, this guy sounds like an idiot.
He seems pretty bright. Okay, let's try to narrow this down by company. What company makes this pedal? Just kidding. Is it boutique? I assume it's boutique. It's not boutique. Is it MXR?
It is not MXR.
Is it Electro Harmonics?
It is not
Boss?
Electro Harmonic.
It wouldn't be, but
Is it a Boss?
Is it
Blues
Boss?
Driver?
Boss.
Boss. Is it more than $100? We're kind of getting in this rut where we ask the same questions.
I mean, there's only so many questions you can ask. How many knobs does it have?
It has 3 knobs.
What color is it? Is it the Maxon OD 808?
No.
Is it the Nobles ODR1? Is it a Nobles pedal?
Not Nobles.
What? You didn't answer my question. Is it more than $100?
I feel like that's not.
Oh, it's lime green.
This one is used, and
Would
the
you
price
assume-
is. And so I'm.
Is it the Green
Is it-
Mile?
It's not the Green Mile.
Is it out of production?
Maybe.
The Green Mile. What's
That's
the
that
Green Mile?
Moor. That's the Moor one. It was really popular. Or at least I
Oh, is
heard
it like
about it a
is
lot.
it standard size enclosure?
What's that? Freak. What's that? Yeah, is it standard
I'm-
size?
Is this used? This is not used, and it's 100.
Phew. What's
And
that?
It's not Electro Harmonics.
What's that way huge pedal that's green? That's like a lime.
Oh crap!
green?
Wait a minute.
Is it the Way Huge Green Rhino? Oh, that's a fuzz pedal, though. I think
Oh,
the
Don't they have-
swollen
what's
pickle.
the
Is it the
pickle?
swollen
The
pickle?
swollen pickle. Did you
Is it
just
way huge?
discover something wrong with your game?
What?
You said, "Oh crap," and then you stopped answering us for a second.
I was. It's fine.
Is it a standard size enclosure?
It is a standard size.
Is
But
it
not
like
a standard shape?
and it's green?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
I can't believe you guys have not said this.
Is it full tone?
It's not Boss or Electro
Sorry.
Harmonics.
No.
Is it
It's not
Digitech? Is it the
MXR.
bad monkey?
I said I don't know what I said. Oh, I said it's not
MXR?
MXR.
It's not MXR.
It's not
Monkey
Wampler
things.
or Keeley.
No.
He said it's not boutique.
Oh, he did? It's $160
Yeah.
though for a freaking tube screamer.
I know. Is it a Boss?
No.
Sorry.
Is it MXR? Is it Ibanez?
Yes.
Is it a TS-808?
That is not the name of this pedal.
Is it is it TS9DX? TS9X? TS9? TS8? TS Elliott?
Is it a Tube Screamer Deluxe?
Tube Screamer Mini? No, those are like $60.
Is it the hand-wired Tube Screamer?
No.
Oh, that would be
Is it
$160.
the machine-wired Tube Screamer? Is it that white? What was that white Tube Screamer that had that weird like fake tube in it?
Oh, yeah. I don't
The
think that's that
new
old,
tube?
though.
No. Does it say Tube Screamer on the box, on the enclosure?
It actually does not say that on the box.
Does it say it on the pedal? Oh.
It's not a TS9.
The heck is it?
Hello? Is it a Joyo? Is it the vintage overdrive?
No, it's a Ibanez, he said.
Yeah, but he says all kinds of things. Idiot.
What is it? Is it like
Aaron gives up.
a bass pedal?
No.
Does it? It doesn't say Tube Screamer on it, and it's green.
Mm-hmm.
Why did this? Was this?
It's not
Is
the
this the one who
TS10?
said the foot switch worked weird? It's not the TS-808.
That's not what it's called.
I
What?
hate you so
Like,
much.
why do you say that? Then say no. You don't have to answer in complete sentences. This isn't a freaking English test.
Is it the Tube Screamer Mini? Is it TS9 Tube Screamer?
So it doesn't say Tube Screamer on the box.
How many knobs does it have?
I'm not going to answer the questions that you've asked me already.
Well,
3 knobs, I think, right?
Is it the
It doesn't
bass
say
Tube
Tube Screamer on the pedal. Is it a TS7? Does it have TS in the name?
It doesn't even say Tube Screamer like on the like the little metal plate thing. Is it a Tube Screamer? The F.
Okay, well, like, we might as well give up. It's some kind of Tube Screamer that we don't know about. Does it say tube on the box, on the enclosure?
It does not say tube.
Does
Does
it
it
say
say screamer?
words? Or is it,
Does it
words.
say anything?
is it just letters, like model number letters, or is it? Does it say like
Is
classic
it the Turbo
overdrive?
Tube Screamer?
That still says Tube Screamer on it, doesn't it? And isn't that the TS9DX? That's what I guessed.
Yeah, but he's a hater.
Is it the TS9B, the base one? We already guessed that. Is it the TS10?
No,
I think
that one's
one
not
says
green.
tubes. Oh, it's not?
Isn't it like the gray? Isn't that the gray ones? Or that's the sevens?
No, TS7. TS10, I don't
Is it
remember.
TS5?
TS12.
No. No.
Does it say... Man. I feel
Does
like
it have
we're
a
never
name
gonna
that's
get
like words, or is it just numbers and letters?
Both.
I hate you.
it. And neither of those... And it doesn't have tube or screamer in the name.
And it
Does it have
doesn't say
overdrive?
Overdrive is not written on the pedal anywhere.
But is it printed on the pedal? Do you talk to the person or do you speak to the person? That's a little inside baseball for you. I genuinely don't think I've seen
I
this
have no
pedal
idea
before.
what it
It's the
is.
same. Is it like the same Ibanez enclosure with the little Boss style foot switch? Kind of. Like the TS9 has.
That we all know and love.
And is it a tube screamer? Is it meant to be a tube screamer, or is it some other pedal that this idiot just thought it was a tube screamer? Is this even the review that talked about a tube screamer?
Is it some kind of distortion?
Ibanez pedal, and it's green. So, like...
Yeah, I know. If there's one thing we know, it's that. I guess two things that we know. Is it does it have distortion in the name?
Yes.
Oh,
what
is
it
it that?
called?
Oh, crap. It's that one with like the... It's one of that line where the foot switch is like offset, right? It's not the one where it's like offset to the... Yeah. And it says distortion in the name?
Distortion is written on...
Is it the distortion? Is it the super distortion? Ultra distortion? Light distortion?
Is it the DS something?
Yeah,
No, it's
DSL.
not the DS something.
It's not called DS7? It's not DS9? It's not Deep Space Nine?
What is that
Nope,
one?
not Deep Space
I
Nine.
think I might.
Is it SD9?
Is it?
Because it's a super distortion, right? Is that what it's called? Screamer distortion?
Simple,
No, you said
simple,
there's no screamer.
simple distortion. Sample distortion. Slippy, slappy, swimmy, swammy.
Sonic distortion?
Yes.
And it's Ibanez?
Oh, that was really satisfying. Glad we got there.
And it's...
I wish we'd given up 5 minutes ago.
That pedal is,
What
I
is
guess,
that
lime
pedal?
green.
Shut up, Aaron.
There's
No,
no way
that
they
is-
had one.
That is a very, like, I would call that lime green.
Yeah, I said it was
that-
lime green.
But it was the way you said it, Aaron.
Oh, well, because I was looking at on Reverb, and the first one I saw was like yellow looking in the picture.
Oh.
Okay, the last review.
That pedal is not at Guitar Center at full price.
No way. No way that's new.
I just Googled it, and it came up.
Okay.
I don't know.
Wait, that was the part that I was like, uh-oh. And you guys were like, what? And I was like, nothing. It was because when
Yeah. SD9.
Yeah,
It's like a musician's friend in Guitar Center and stuff.
Okay. Wait,
I don't think Ibanez makes it anymore. You can only get a vintage Ibanez one.
did
says
I
in stock
have
and
we done that
ready to
review?
Maxon now does make it.
Have we done that review?
No.
Oh, Maxon. Oh,
See,
yeah.
Maxon
so that
still
isn't
sells it, but
that
Ibanez
isn't the same
doesn't
pedal
anymore.
then. So that whole game is null and void.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess I got the points, so shouldn't say that.
Last review of the day is by Amazon customer. This is
I hate that guy.
Yeah, he's a freaking jerk.
yeah. This is a 1-star review titled
All right.
"As Made,
Is it Boss Pedal?
February 23rd,
If
2019."
it's not, that'd be weird.
Wait, does it say
2000
do not buy
2000
this pedal? The worst.
This
Boss
should be
has made?
called the Boss Do
The
Not
worst product Boss has made. He said that in the review.
I'm taking out my headphones and I'm going to read while not listening to you. This should be called ineffective, muddles your signal path. Do not buy this pedal.
From 2019? The review?
Is it the GE7
It is not
graphic
the
equalizer?
No.
Oh, the CS3?
No.
Is it a
Is
compressor?
it the BD2W?
No.
Oh, is it a compressor?
Is it a fairly recent? Is it like the standard enclosure size?
Yes.
Is it the noise gate one?
No.
Is it meant to be some
Doesn't
kind of
anything.
gain style pedal?
No.
Is it meant to be
Ottawa?
a reverb pedal?
I don't believe it's sold in Ottawa. It is not a reverb pedal.
Why would they not sell it in Ottawa? Cole, why would they not sell it in Ottawa?
I don't know, because they're racist against Canadians.
Oh, all right. But they sell it in the rest of Canada, just not Ottawa.
Yeah, you have to go to Gatineau. Got to go across the river.
I hate going across the river to
So it's not a drive. Is it a? You said it's not a reverb. Is it a delay? Oh,
Not
is it
delay.
It's not this. Is it a Waza?
Is it a phaser?
Not a Waza.
Flanger?
Not a phaser.
Chorus?
Not a chorus.
Oh, is it that? Is it an acoustic pedal?
Is it the AC3?
No.
No, the
AW3?
AC2.
No.
Is it? It's not,
AW3?
it's not an acoustic simulator. Is it like that acoustic? Is it like the body res kind of thing, but the Boss one, like the acoustic?
Oh, do they have that?
I don't know. They had some kind of like acoustic sound good pedal. Is that what it is?
Is
Acoustic sound good
it-
pedal?
Some kind of like filter pedal?
It's specifically meant for acoustic, though. You know,
Oh, it's
getting
a
that answer to that
guitar.
question, you'd think would be a bigger clue for me, but
It's a
like-
pedal for acoustic.
I shouldn't even ask that
It's not
question.
acoustic simulator. It's the acoustic.
for an acoustic guitar. Acoustic.
Preamp?
Yes.
Acoustic preamp? I don't know the name of it.
The
AP something?
AP2,
AP3?
No.
AP4?
AP1,
AP2?
AX2, AD2.
AP2? AD?
AD.
Why
What
is
does that even stand for?
I don't even.
Why didn't they call it AP? There's probably like some weird Japanese
controls-
superstition about it or something.
It has. It has 3 not acoustic resonance.
But like, yeah, that should say on the box, like,
Oh,
that's
I
a
wonder
valid.
if the D stands for like direct because it's like DI output.
Oh yeah, because it has.
Yeah,
a line.
that's
Acoustic
probably it.
DI or something.
Acoustic D.
Dude.
Notch? What does notch do?
It's for feedback suppression, so it would put in a notch if your it would like sweep the frequency of the notch filter.
Soup the frequency.
Everybody knows that.
That's my favorite scene. That's my favorite scene in Karate Kid.
Sweep the frequency.
Do you have a problem?
Mr. Lawrence.
But that is the type of pedal that does next to nothing. Like,
Right.
That's
you
the
know what I'm
point of
saying? Like, it's like, it's not like it's a freaking fuzz pedal.
It's like gold colored. I love the look of it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually,
colors.
It's like champagne kind of,
You should get one of these, Phil.
like metallic. Yeah, dude. I have a car that's that color.
So do I. It's a Buick. Some
Mine's
freaking
a
fancy.
Ford. Mine's a Ford. Mine's a Ford because it's the only thing I could afford.
I live in luxury. Dude,
You live
Ford
in the
stands
lap
for
of luxury.
fix or repair daily.
Found on road dead.
That's like one of those.
Roadside dead.
I love car company loyalists.
ACDC stands for Antichrist Devil Children. Ugh.
Everybody knows that. Okay, are we done with your game, Phil?
Yes.
That's all you have?
I actually
Just 3?
got. We actually got. That's what he always has.
I know. It's a joke. It's a joke, people.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks for
Thanks
doing
for
that.
friendship.
Thanks,
for
Phil.
friendship.
Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for points.
Oh, you're welcome.
I know.